You're entering a no judgment zone. The following show is real and raw, and everyone is encouraged to speak their mind. This is the Immigrant Experience, a program we hope will have an impact on the future of newcomer immigrants and Canada at large. An open platform, one that welcomes everybody. This is the Immigrant Experience. And now your hosts, Emmanuel and Ruben.
Hello and welcome to the Immigrant Experience podcast. I'm your co-host Ruben and
Emmanuel Dualai Koko.
Hello and welcome to today's episode. And today's episode we are happy to be joined by an amazing guest. Her name is Hala. And as immigrants we come to this country with different dreams, different visions, having different experiences. And today we are very happy that we are having an amazing guest. Her name is Hala. And she'll be sharing with us an immigrant experience here in Canada. Welcome, Taha, and thank you for accepting to talk to us.
Thank you, Ruben, for the invitation. And I'm very happy to be here to share the story that I've been through and that I know that many immigrants like me have experienced. So I'm here to not just talk about the challenges, but also to give a message to all immigrants on how to overcome those challenges.
Oh yeah.
And hopefully that would be a very good lesson for them to learn from my experience as well.
Oh yeah, and trust me, that's the main goal of this podcast.
Yeah.
Is trying to create a platform where we can share the experiences and getting even those who are coming this year, they can get to learn from your experience. Then get a road, save their time.
That's the hope. Is that they can learn from the mistakes that I made, from all the blocks that I had to overcome, and hopefully they can use what I learned to have a better immigrant experience.
That's amazing. That's amazing. How is Ottawa? How is Ottawa?
Well, the weather wasn't very welcoming, so I'm not sure how to feel about that. But it seems like a beautiful city, although a little bit too quiet for my taste.
It's a quiet city.
Comparing to Toronto,
compared to Toronto, I'm a big city person. I'm from Casablanca, so it's very loud, very big, and I'm used to loud sounds. So if I don't hear loud sounds and a lot of crowd, I don't feel at home. So
Then Toronto is a perfect match for you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I walk down the streets and I feel like I belong. Like this is my home. I never lived anywhere else.
Oh yeah, and maybe first thing first. Who is Hala? And maybe you can share your name, your background.
So my name is Hala El Wala. So I'm from Morocco, born and raised. For 29 years, I spent my life in Morocco, and although I had the idea of living abroad, I was never able to do so until until I finished my Ph.D. and then I was able to get my visa to as a permanent resident to get to Canada. The reason I moved was it's not because my situation was difficult, because I actually had a very good job. I was teaching at a university, working as a project manager. Like my situation wasn't bad in Morocco. It was very good. The issue that I had is that I felt that I wasn't learning anymore. That there was things were repeating itself at work. So there's a culture of just sticking with the routine and not trying to improve, not trying to move forward, and that's against my philosophy and my and who I am. I decided that I needed a change, that I needed to move from there. So that's why Canada happened. Now, obviously, it wasn't just a whim. Like I had some Canadian friends who talked me into it, so they were like that I would be a perfect fit because of who I am, and they said that with my qualification I shouldn't have trouble finding a job. And I did my due diligence. Like I contacted pre-arrival services to try to get their advice on how what I should do to prepare. Some of them did give me the right information, like to build my network, to work on my resume and whatnot. Others were like, no, you won't have a problem. You don't need to find the survival job. All you have to do is just get yourself down to Canada, and everything should work for you. Like that was the feedback that I got. Again, not all of them, but some of them didn't have the right information.
And maybe not to cut, but to take you back. You said you finished your PhD. What is your PhD in?
So my PhD is in applied mathematics and automatic control. So my application was in robotics. So I wanted to use control theory to give a robot automatic reflexes to move from one step to the other. And to avoid obstacles. And with tech jobs coming up, and all that dream, we're moving digital. So it was the right move for me to come to Toronto because it is the hub of IT and tech. It is the international hub. So that's why I chose Toronto, because I did my research, and I knew that's the place for me. But I was actually surprised that when I got there, there wasn't much response from recruiters or companies when I'm applying. It took me a while to get feedback, even from professionals on LinkedIn who told me that I should go for the PMP. So the PMP is the Project Management Professional certification. That's a must-have for anyone who wants to work in project management. Although some postings don't require it, I was told that I need it in order to even get an entry-level job. And so I set myself to go and get it. And while I was preparing for it, I was also taking a bridging program with Ryerson University.
In Toronto.
So, in Toronto, yes. So bridging program, it's a program that is offered by the government, to new immigrants. So it is somehow to bridge the education, the gap, basically. The program was beneficial because I was able to have amazing mentors who helped me boost my profile, make very important connections to help me not just improve my image on LinkedIn, but also to advance my career. So I'm very grateful to my mentors from Ryerson.
And maybe before you go to Canada and then Toronto, can you walk us through how was your journey? How did you came to Canada? You came as a skilled worker, or
as a federal skilled worker. I was I have because I have a PhD, and I'm also an engineer in industrial and logistics engineering. And also I was at the same time teaching and working. So so I had enough experience to qualify for the federal skilled worker. And it was the easiest process ever, visa that I've ever seen. I actually was able to get my visa in 6 months-ish.
That was fast.
It was fast.
From an African country, that's very fast.
That's very fast. I know. I couldn't believe it myself, but so that told me that my profile is needed. That was the impression that I got. If I got it that fast, means that
they want you.
I'm wanted. So that's why it was a surprise to me that when I got here that I wasn't even getting a call. All I wanted is just to have a face-to-face, a chance to present my story and sell my my profile. I wasn't given that chance.
And for Christ's sake, you're Moroccan. I test in Africa, we usually say Moroccans are very good salespeople.
I actually worked in sales. I was slowly on the side when I was as a student in Morocco. And and I kept it a long while working. And actually, that's what helped me get my first survival job here in Canada.
Moroccans are very good sales. Whatever they're selling, you'll buy it.
That's true. That's true. I'm always able to sell even without trying. I'm just talking, and people want to buy, and they're interested. And they're like, oh, that's interesting. I need some more of that.
Yeah, and that's a very good skill even to selling yourself to like jobs and
exactly. Like all I need is just this encounter. Like I'm good at selling anything, not just myself, but also any products. You can give me any products, I can sell it to you. In seconds.
And maybe another question, a follow-up question. Before you came to Canada, like did you take any pre-arrival employment program based in Canada?
Some of the pre-arrival services had online courses, very extensive online courses that I took. I took all of them. Like I didn't leave anything to chance. I learned about the Canadian workplace, the culture, what is expected from me, even in terms of dress, in terms of how to behave, and whatnot, and how to respect boundaries and so on. I didn't leave anything to chance. Like I'm a researcher and an engineer, so this is my forte. Like that's what I do best.
Going into details and making sure all the boxes are checked.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
So, a question for you: when you came to Canada, at what point did you have that cultural shock that your expectations were not meeting your reality?
Honestly, I never had a cultural shock. Because as my friends would say, that I am sort of not really Moroccan in my head, like that my personality is really not Moroccan, like because Moroccan like have this tendency of saying the right thing and smiling even when they really don't want to and whatnot. This is not my philosophy. I am brutally honest. I say things exactly as they are. I don't care if the person doesn't like it. And that is not acceptable in Moroccan culture. Like that is considered disrespectful in Moroccan culture. So that's why like when I finally got here, I felt like I was going back home. Like I was coming to a place where I can just be me. And like I can be honest, I can be who I am. I don't have to pretend to smile or whatever. Like I can do whatever I want. And that was actually, it felt like I was going back home rather than leaving home.
And with you say your manager, like you had management experiences.
Yes.
Do you mind telling us maybe what were you doing back home before you came to Canada?
Yes. So the first project that I worked on was a governmental project in raising awareness about the danger of plastic. So before the project, plastic was used widely in Morocco. I'm talking about the black plastic, the dangerous kind. And it was widely used. No one was aware how dangerous it is to the environment. So the project was on two phases. The first phase was just to have an exposition where we have visitors coming in, and we teach them about the origin of plastic and some alternatives to plastic and the danger of how the plastic endangers the environment and kills the birds and whatnot. So that was the first phase, and it was an amazing success because we got we went beyond the number of visitors that we were targeting. So we were targeting at least 3,000 students. So we got more because we got requests from schools that wanted to come to the exhibit. So we didn't have to look for schools; they were requesting to come to the exposition, and we were able to do this in the major cities of Morocco. So we repeated the exposition. The second phase was to target stay-at-home mothers because they're the most influential people, part of the society. And we were actually astonished to see that when we went to the far countryside and we tried to teach them about plastic, we realized that they never use plastic, that they're actually already using alternatives. That was amazing. to discover. That it's actually the modern side of Morocco that was that wasn't aware of the dangers of plastic, and that the ones in the far countryside who probably never went to school actually were very, very aware of the danger of plastic and were actually using alternatives.
And like the pretty much even here, like the indigenous communities are way advanced, and they're very sustainable.
Yes.
Even whatever they're doing, and they live with nature.
Yeah, their approach towards environment is very friendly.
And thanks to the project now, it is illegal to use the black plastic in Morocco. So everywhere you go in any supermarket, you won't find that plastic in the supermarket.
That's exciting.
That's amazing.
You're part of that advocacy.
It was amazing. It was amazing to feel that that I have an impact on on the lives of others. And changing the way we treat our environment, because let's face it, we are destroying Earth.
Absolutely. And how many years did you work in that project?
5 years.
For 5 years.
5 years. How long have you been in Canada?
2.5 years.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And maybe going back to when you first came to Canada.
Okay.
Have you, and in your journey, like looking for jobs and writing resumes and sending job applications, what steps have you taken to make sure your resume catches the attention of the employers?
I actually hired a professional resume writer before coming to Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, I contacted from Canada, like a professional resume writer.
Like here in Canada?
Yeah, and I actually paid $400 for that. Just to be sure that my resume fits the Canadian standard. I didn't want to leave anything to chance. I was like, okay, $400, but at least I know that there's nothing, that I'm missing out in terms of the requirements. I contacted them, and they helped me write it. Obviously, we had to write it together because the writer has the English level but doesn't have the knowledge. Exactly. So we wrote it together, and that's what I was using when I got here. I also had joined the PMI mentorship program, and I was matched with a mentor who helps me greatly, especially in preparing for the certification. So he gave me very good resources, in how to prepare for the PMP and whatnot. But and I was doing networking, a lot of networking, and the advice that I was getting is go get the PMP. That was that was the advice that I was getting.
I was gonna ask you that, with the help of the resume you did that help you? How helpful was that resume when you
not much, because it only got me the survival job. But I only got the survival job by downgrading my resume, so by taking out the PhD part. So I had to take that out in order to get the survival job as an account manager in sales.
And that's a very good point. So, sending a resume with a PhD in a job that doesn't need PhD, then they consider you
absolutely
overqualified.
I mean, even without the PhD, I was considered overqualified.
Why is that?
My manager was worried that I wouldn't stay with them.
Okay.
And the only reason I was able to get the job is telling them that I actually didn't plan on leaving for at least a year.
Okay. Then they know, she's here to stay, not just to.
So basically, that's how I was able to get the job, because he was, even without the PhD, as far as he was concerned, I was still overqualified.
And the job. I don't get into the job you're doing right now, but with whatever you're doing right now, and is it your dream job? What you wanted to be doing right now?
I am in phase 1 in my dream job. Yes.
Okay. That's beautiful.
I was gonna ask that the program you took afterward, the employment program,
the bridging program.
The bridging program. How would you consider that helped you through the process of? Was that helpful through the process of getting
It helps me get a very good connections.
Okay.
Yeah, in terms of connections and building my network, it was crucial. To me. Yeah, especially with my mentors. Like my mentors were amazing. They helped me, boost my profile on LinkedIn. Made really good connections. Helped me, meet with recruiters and whatnot. Like they did everything they could to help me get, find a position.
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And maybe just to follow up on that, given the period that you have been in Canada, have you maybe go to workshop to resume making, resume building?
No, I didn't need to do that because what I realized is that the issue with my application had nothing to do with my resume.
Okay.
Like I've actually had to show my resume to one of those services, and they told me there's nothing we can tell you to improve on. I was actually told this,
So definitely your resume you made when you came was actually good enough.
It was actually good enough.
Oh yeah. And how many jobs have you sent your application? And how many?
I can't count them. Like more than hundreds of applications.
And how many did you get a response from about like giving you an interview?
No, none.
And did you try applying for like jobs which are related to your
any kind of job that is related to my field? Like I have many fields. I have industrial engineering. I have supply chain. I have project management. I tried all.
Oh yeah, and I had somewhere that sometimes I don't know if you know of career stagnant, like stranded in a career, so that you may take a survival job that is not within your career field, then pretty much get a lot of experiences there. Then you're pretty much stuck there. You cannot apply for a job within your career. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And do you find it that way?
No, I mean, basically get into, like, I'm still struggling to get to these, supply chain industry and, because I don't have, experience specifically in the supply chain. Also, I was teaching, like supply chain management and Lean Six Sigma. So that's part of my qualifications. But it was like once I was able to talk to the hiring manager directly, I was able to get positions in IT. So, as a contractor.
That's good.
That was the advice that I got from the CEO of Agile Club Consultant, who met with me and told me that I'm actually better off being a consultant than trying to be an employee.
And he
was right. So
definitely. I feel I've had that story many times before from people who came here with like a high level qualification. They end up resorting to maybe starting their own consultancy or maybe starting their own projects, which are geared towards what their education.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why now I have my own company in IT consulting.
Oh yeah, that's great. If they can't give you a job, create one.
And sometimes too, did you find the barrier of Canadian experience being like having Canadian experience a barrier to you getting a job?
Well, it was definitely a barrier at first. Like when I didn't have a Canadian experience, I wasn't getting any kind of responses.
Oh yeah.
Nothing. And then once I started working with the survival job, and I got the PNP, then the advice was split. Like some of them were telling me, "Oh, you're great, but you're overqualified," and the others were telling me, "Oh, you just need to keep trying. You will get that one response that that wouldn't shut the doors in your face."
And even putting your the survivor job you talk about, like even getting that, you still needed a Canadian experience or some connection. Did you?
Not really. Like after that, it was just trying to find the entry to the entry job, or just talking to a hiring manager so that they can see that I have the qualifications. It was no longer an issue that my experience is international.
And sometimes like getting into a job, you really even a dream job, like getting to one job at a time, then build up from there.
And build up,
talk to people and getting to know. And sometimes like the best, like most of people find their jobs through like friend reference. Like getting to hear from another person, then.
Oh, my friends tried. Like I made friends here, and they try to make referrals, but it gets stopped at the very early stage. Normally through referrals, I'm supposed to get at least one interview, and it didn't happen. Like I tried with different companies, and it didn't happen.
And you said you're teaching back in Morocco. Have you tried maybe applying for teaching jobs here in Toronto, college, university?
Now I am teaching with Northeastern University. So I was able to make it back to my field again. It took a while. It took a while for me to get there, but COVID did impact that. Like it would have been easier if it hadn't been for COVID for me to get to academia, because academia works differently. In academia, if you have the credentials, then you just need to be referred. It's not the same thing as business. It was actually, once I got all the credentials that I needed, it was easy to get the teaching position with Northeastern.
And maybe getting to know with all your story and experience, why did you finally decide, let me go to the media? Let me talk to Toronto Star.
I didn't go to the media. The media came to me. I actually didn't think about going to the media. I was just happy that I made it. Like
I'd like to know how that connection was established.
I met the Rania from Pecan. So she's an advocate for Arab women in Canada. And I talked to her about my struggles. Back when I didn't have any. When I had all the doors closed to me. And she was the one who helped me. Arrange very good connections until I met the CEO of the company that I was consulting with. So she was very, very helpful in that respect. And basically this journalist contacted her to ask her about if she knows any immigrant women who are successful, and she suggested me. So I actually didn't go to the media. They went to me.
That's great. And it's through your connection with your friend, then you connected there.
It's through the connection. So if I didn't reach out to her, no one would have heard about me.
Would you, in your own opinion, would you say the pandemic had a role to play with these barriers you faced, if you assess that?
In the academia, yes. In the business, no. Because I could see, like, it was obvious, like when the pandemic hit, I there was no job posting for teachings. Like, the job postings disappeared, but the job postings for project management, they were there. They were still there. So the demand was there, despite the pandemic. The pandemic, I know for a fact that it didn't impact the project management side, but I know that it did impact the teaching side.
And most of the jobs in robotic internet jobs like increased pretty much.
Exactly. It boomed actually in IT. So that's why I know for a fact that the pandemic wasn't a factor. At least from the project management perspective.
And sorry, I just have this flow of chain of thoughts going. Would you say, like this impacted, talking about impact, would you say this impacted your mental health in some ways, these barriers which you...
Definitely. There was a time when I felt down. Like that, I mean, anyone in my place would feel would feel the same, especially, after months of struggling and, you see yourself in a place where where you should be in a better place because of your qualification and you've been through a lot. I mean, I'm not talking just about myself. I know that this is the case of many immigrants like me. But I kept the faith because I know who I am. I know my potential, and I know that there will be a door opening. So
absolutely.
So I just had to keep the fight until I made it.
And with like. Even talking to the media, did you have that faith? Like, I'm sure this message will touch someone.
Well, yes. Because right after the article went out, I had hiring managers telling me that they are shocked that this happened to me.
Oh yeah. Wow.
So hiring managers have no idea about the struggles that immigrants are feeling every day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And they even said, why do we have to read about you on an article? Why didn't we get you from a recruiter?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this is a reality.
Mm-hmm.
It's not everyone that's biased. It's not the situation for everyone, but it is impacting a huge portion of immigrants who come here, and some of them actually decide to go back. I have my friends, I know them, and they struggled like me, and they had to go back because they had no choice. They had jobs in their home, and they couldn't find jobs here. While they are actually very qualified to get those jobs.
Being optimistic actually pays off.
Absolutely.
And sometimes not everyone has that thick skin to keep their confidence up or to keep going when times get really, really tough. But from your story, I can tell that putting yourself out there and making yourself vulnerable actually would open you doors.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I kept the faith. I know that I know that God would help me get to where I want to go. I just need to give it my all. Yeah. So I had to give it my all.
And you said that even some of the employers were saying we are not supposed to hear this from media. Why are we?
They were shocked. They didn't know how it could be possible for someone as qualified as I am to have such a hard time finding a position.
Yeah.
And that's how I know how important this is. That the message needs to be transmitted because there is a barrier here. Hiring managers have no idea of what's going on the other side. Recruiters are just worried about the 80% list, checking the box and not really care about the character of the person, whether the person actually fits the job and is actually would actually be able to handle it. And that's what the hiring manager wants. They want someone who can handle the job, someone who fits the 80% box. And that's where the disconnect I feel is.
And I don't know what build up that disconnect between the employer and people applying, and especially with the immigrants. I've met a lot of immigrants who have ton of experiences, but I think that having a recruiter in between, checking those boxes, this one doesn't have this one A, B, C, D, E, then it limits the chances for even this one even having a chance to be interviewed.
Absolutely. Most of the jobs that I, after the article, I was called for jobs. I wouldn't hit 80% of the boxes for them. But they felt that I am more than qualified for it. Because I have a very unique set of skills. Because of my experience. Because I as an immigrant, I am adaptable. That sends a message. I can adapt to change. That I am flexible and whatnot. And this is an advantage that hiring managers know, but unfortunately most recruiters don't really see that.
That's the reality of many immigrants. I've spoken to lots of people who come here and they happen to actually have been overqualified. And sometimes, like what you just said, it results to them going back home because they feel they didn't get the right amount of support.
Absolutely.
Or maybe it results to a mental health situation where they get depressed or go through an emotional.
Oh, I've seen it happen. Seen it happen. Some of my friends, they went through a very, very difficult mental situation where they were depressed. They they felt like that everything is closed. All doors are closed in front of them.
Literally, you've given up everything you had. You've left your family. You've left everything you had back home, and here you are putting yourself out there, making yourself vulnerable, trying to find something better for your family as well, and you're just getting all these doors shutting at you at the same time. That could be really difficult
But
and
the
challenging.
one thing that got me going is knowing that this is not the situation for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
That I just have to get through the blockage of recruiters. That I know that there are people who actually want me.
Yeah.
So knowing this, I knew that I just needed to keep going.
Yeah.
It was difficult, but I knew in my heart that I will be able to make it.
Okay.
And thank God I was able to.
Okay, talking of this of depression, and I just read an article that I think suicide rate of international students is spiking in 2022.
Wow.
And it's all contributing to stress, economic stress, and the struggle immigrant youth are going through. Yeah. And do you think like telling these stories will pretty much change the lives of other newcomers or immigrants who are coming to the country?
Well, I hope so. I hope that the message would reach, hiring managers and people in government to try to start conventions to bridge the gap between the hiring manager who want to hire the immigrants and the immigrants who are here who are faced with this blockage because there are other applicants that have local experience and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
So I do hope that this message will reach and some action will be taken.
Oh yeah.
Because this has been a silent challenge not just for me but for many immigrants like me, specifically women immigrants as well.
Yeah.
Because there's a huge bias against women immigrants that they are. That they may not be able to perform as well as a male.
Yes.
And that's a bias that needs to change because men and women are both capable of the same thing.
Yeah.
And we need to change this ideology that the gender has anything to do with performance.
Yeah.
If anything, you would find some women are actually better, more motivated than men in their work.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, because they do it with passion. They are following their passion. They're not. They don't have to do it. They are following what they want, what they love.
Yeah.
So I do hope that this message will reach and some action will be taken.
Oh yeah, and that being said, do you think maybe your gender played a part in the struggle you encountered?
I wouldn't know because I have no idea of knowing that, but there was a situation where I did feel that the gender played a role. I was seeing after I finished the bridging program with Ryerson, I was seeing my classmates. So we have the same degree, we have who have the same certification as I was getting jobs when I was not getting even a first interview.
Oh yeah.
So I've seen it happen. So they were male, and they were able to find jobs. Like I was reading it on LinkedIn, and I was still struggling to find a job.
Oh wow, wow. And maybe on another note, like with your experience that you encounter coming to this country, the struggle finding a job, what advice do you have for immigrant women and even men who are coming to this country? Qualified or with education, ton of experiences, looking for a better life?
Well, the first thing is doing due research about the programs that they want to go to, whether their profile is actually needed where they are going. Most of immigrants, they just choose the place that would fit them financially. And that's a bad move.
Yeah.
You want to go to the place where your profile is actually needed.
Yeah.
You also want to build the network before coming to Canada. So you want to build those relationships way before you can set foot on Canada. And you need to look for what kind of certifications are needed. Like I would have liked to have the information that I need, the PMP and other certifications before coming to Canada.
Yeah.
And like I could have, tried to get those before coming, so that I didn't have that much trouble once I got here.
Yeah.
So basically due diligence, and it would be difficult. And let's face it, it's a reality. But that doesn't mean that it's impossible. It doesn't mean that you can't find the position. You just need to keep reaching out. There will be someone who will lay a hand.
Yeah, for sure.
There will be.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
You just have to keep the faith, and everything will work out.
And with your experience, do you think maybe coming to Canada, for example, if I was a manager back home, do you think it's good to pretty much downgrade the experiences and lower my expectations?
No, I don't believe so, because I tried that. I tried to downgrade. Like I after I got the PNP, I got split advice.
Yeah.
Some of the professionals were telling me that my profile is too scary and I need to downgrade, and others were telling me, no, just continue. Reaching out, you will find that one door.
Yeah.
So I tried both ways. So I tried downgrading. And what all that did is that it took the edge, my edge, the edge that I had over other candidates, like it took it out and took it away. So I was just, a normal applicant without anything, special. Yeah. And, obviously I wasn't picked for jobs, and I could understand that because, there were other applicants that had a better profile.
Yeah.
So I realized that it wasn't doing me any good. So I put back everything, like literally everything that I've ever done. Like I put it all there, in black and white. And I decided, okay, if someone is going to be scared of my profile, then they don't deserve me to be, part of their organization. So so I'm just gonna, try the ones who actually want someone like me.
Yeah.
And, and actually, I ended up not being employed anywhere. And that's how I started consulting. So,
true.
So
for your entry level job, which you had, did you have to still keep that resume, which the original resume, or did you have to downgrade it?
No, I had to downgrade it.
I can relate to that too because I had that experience when I came in. I had to downgrade my resume to get my entry level job.
Absolutely. No, they wouldn't have given me the job if they knew that I had a PhD. I don't think I would have gotten an interview even. And I actually, had to play part, overplay the sales part, for them to get to consider me, for the position.
Yeah.
Although it was an experience that I did, but I had to make it, to emphasize on it more than on my other experiences.
Yeah.
And you said you
that's about it. Because sometimes when you have that mix in your resume, myself, I had to experience that too. You have a scenario where you have to focus your resume to suit the job.
Yeah.
And that's what I found out when I came here, that every job has its own criteria of qualification, which is required.
Yeah.
And if you do not meet, if you overmeet it, you won't get it.
You won't get it.
If you're below it, you might still not get it.
Actually, some of the advice that I was getting is to write the number of years that was required, not the ones that I have.
Exactly.
So, like if I have 5 and they only require 3, that I should write 3.
Just put 3.
Oh,
so that way you get.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was given this.
Yeah, I had that experience too. I was told that you had. Well, I had to go through serious training.
Yeah.
With people who have lots of experience in that, and they had to come up with like a list of referrals.
Yeah.
Of people who are going to act as my referrals, and also have that whole resume playing around thing. So each job I wanted to apply for had to suit the criteria for the job.
Yeah.
And moving out qualifications which you actually have. So you put up ones that might not even be real, but suits the criteria for the job.
It has to suit the I mean everything that was put in there was real. It's just that I had to emphasize on a part that wasn't actually part of who I am. I just had to emphasize that more than the part that is actually who I am, which is the project management part and the engineering part. So I had to downsize the engineering side and to emphasize on the sales, which was just a side for me. Like it was
which was not your main thing.
No, it wasn't the main thing. It was just something that I did on the side. It was fun. Like for me, it was
Moroccan.
Sometimes those hobbies pay off. Those hobbies pay off.
And you talk about the consultants company that you study, and is it for immigrants, women, or it's pretty much everyone?
What's it about?
So I help IT corporations, implement their tech solutions. So whatever solution they have, whether it's implementing a new system, trying to find an AI solution or whatnot. So I'm the one telling them how to manage the project, what they need and whatnot. Managing over the project, making sure that everything goes well, that the team is working well, that everyone is performing, that the stakeholders are happy and whatnot. So so I act as the consultant. So I give advice on how to improve on the work. So and when things go south, they come to me to find a solution. So yeah.
Oh wow! And do you work with companies within Toronto areas or across the province?
At first, it was actually just an American company.
Oh, that's perfect.
Agile Cloud Consulting is actually an American company, and that's why they offered me the consulting instead of hiring me full time, because they can't hire me full time. Because I don't have the right to work in the U.S.
Okay. And have you tried maybe approaching other companies, big tech companies within Toronto areas, trying to see if you can sell your product?
I mean, now I have been able to reach out to companies here in Toronto, and I am contracting with them.
That's perfect. That's perfect. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, you do. You life gives you lemonade. Once you make lemonade.
Like if you're really struggling to get a job or getting to practice what you're good at, how about creating the service and try to sell them?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is good.
And I have the CEO of Agile Cloud Consulting to thank for that, because I wouldn't have thought about it if he didn't suggest it. Because we were introduced to each other through common connection, and I was actually looking for employment, and he was like, why are you set on trying to find employment? Why don't you go for be a consultant, have your own practice? And I was like, I didn't think about that.
What, if you don't mind me asking, what's the name of your consultancy?
My company?
Company.
HEPM Agile Consultant. So HE for Hala and Iraq, so my initials, and PM for project management.
That's amazing. And to anyone that might be needing the service, how can they get you?
Well, I don't have a website yet, so I'm still just me. I'm still working just me, but I am working on that. So I am working on having a website and having a LinkedIn page and whatnot. So this is something in the work. It's just that because it happens so fast. The consultancy and I had projects to work with, and I didn't have time to actually work on the concept for my company. But this is something that I'm working on right now.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing.
That's really exciting. Congratulations on that.
Wow. And if someone wants to use your service at this time,
they can contact me on LinkedIn. They can reach out to me, and I can. We can set up a contract, and we can start working.
That's amazing.
And what services in general does a company provide?
Well, basically, so far, what I've been able to provide is IT project management. So I manage projects in IT in general, but I can also provide, process improvement projects, digitalization projects, artificial intelligence projects, actually anything that comes under the umbrella of my specialty. I can actually help to not just improve, but also solve issues and give them very effective solutions on how to handle certain situations. Specifically when whenever I see a process, I can see how to make it better. Once I go through it once, I can, I can see, this could be done better by doing this. We can avoid this issue by doing that and whatnot. It's something that I built from my experience, and I'm able to help companies improve on their workflow.
And trust me, just talking to you, I can see how smart of a lady you are. Trust me, you're very smart, and I don't any company there that will ever hire you, trust me, they will never regret.
Thank you.
You have the set of skills that businesses and companies need.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do hope that to establish myself as a consultant, not just in IT, but also in industrial engineering and supply chain. So that's my hope in the future, and that's why I'm actually going for the PN licensing. So I am eligible to take the NPPE. So I am working on that. And I also want to take a certification in supply chain management so that I can consult in supply chain as well.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing.
That's really amazing.
And many IT companies are establishing their headquarters in Toronto.
Yeah.
And we're hoping have your stake there.
I do hope I do hope to be able to to make a lasting impact. That would help not just women, not just immigrants, but everyone to have a better life. That's my hope for myself. That's what I hope to achieve. Is that my work would have an impact, that I can change lives. And that's what I'm doing with my students. That's why I love teaching. Because there's nothing that makes me more happier than hearing my students tell me that that my course was so helpful to them, or that they were able to to use my advice for their career, to advance their career and whatnot. That's the best thing about teaching. So I'm very, very happy with
what you're doing.
That's really amazing. I just wanted to ask this. You're really versatile and you're so talented in different areas and different things. What would one advice you give to any immigrant going through something that difficult, or in a difficult position where they're struggling to find a job, or maybe they have amazing or talented ideas like yourself and are struggling still? What advice can you give to anyone like that?
Well, to change perspectives. That if you've tried everything, you've been on a road and you've tried everything, then maybe you need to change your perspective. Maybe there's something, because doing something over and over and expecting things to change, that's not gonna work. So if you do something over and over and nothing is changing, then you need to change something. Change the results. So if Plan A didn't work, then go to Plan B and Plan C.
Improvise.
And take any opportunity that comes to you, and then build from there.
And to like engineers, they usually have Plan A, Plan B, Plan C. They don't just work with one.
Actually, my contingency plan was the one that saved me when I got here.
Exactly.
And I had to go through all the plans A, B, C, D before I was able, and now I'm on E.
Resilience is key. I met someone in the community, and they're 21 years old, and they're like, "Yeah, man, I've tried pretty much everything, and nothing's working." And I'm like, "You tried everything? Like everything?" Or you've tried one and two things that didn't work out? Like everything? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a stretch. I wouldn't say that I tried everything. I wouldn't say that, because I didn't try everything. It's just that I tried hard on one path, and then when it didn't work, I tried another until I was able to find my way. I'm not gonna say that I tried everything. But I don't know if there was something that I could have done better. I would love for someone to tell me what I could have done better.
And that being said, going back to when you first came to Canada, like today you're coming to Canada tomorrow. What do you think you might have done differently?
To get the PMP and all the certifications that I have now before coming to Canada, like to work on that would have been easier. Try to build the network earlier than I started to, because I only started to a couple of months before coming to Canada, when I should have started to earlier than that. I don't see anything else.
And like creating connections. It's easy to say creating connections, but somewhere, how can I even start? Where? Just sending people invitations on LinkedIn.
It's difficult. It's usually very difficult.
It is
when
difficult,
you're in a new environment.
Because the first time I was going at it the wrong way, I was just adding people, but actually what I needed to do is to target people who are, in the same profile that I want to get.
Yeah.
And I did that. Like I was able to get very good advice from the community.
Yeah.
So, what approach? How did you approach your networking? Like, how did you approach the networking side of it that you actually met people? How was the whole connection thing?
So at first I was, trying to find anyone who works in anything remotely close to where I would want to work.
Okay.
In Toronto.
Yeah.
But then I was focused on specific profiles.
Okay.
On reaching out specific profiles and, asking them about advice on how to improve. And that's when I started getting more and more responses.
Oh.
Yeah. When I focused my research instead of just
you
generally
narrowed it down.
Yeah, narrowed it down, and that's when I was able to get more responses. So yeah.
And to someone who have never used LinkedIn or any, like, depends on Facebook for connections. What was the best way to look for those connections then?
Well, I would suggest for them to have a link to start a LinkedIn profile, to really take time to build it well, because LinkedIn is an amazing tool. It is an amazing tool to brand yourself, because that's where 90% of hiring managers are using now. And start by reaching out to those to the people who have the profile that you want to reach, that you want to work in, and and ask them for advice. Ask them for advice on either to ask them about their story of how they achieved where where they are right now, or advice on how you can improve on your current job hunt.
Looking at the state of the world right now, in the past couple of years or so, the pandemic has hit really hard, and these kind of changed how programming was done and how things were done in the city all over the world. So we switched from a one-on-one session with people to a computerized system of doing things. So,
virtual.
Yeah, so like having platforms like Indeed and other platforms like Kijiji, lots of other areas, websites where you can go to find a job online. I think all of them are very helpful in
establishing your brand. Absolutely. This is something that a lot of my mentors have told me, that you need to work on your personal brand. What is that unique element that you bring to the equation? Because every one of us has that unique element that they do better than anyone else, and that's what needs to be showcased in your profile, so that the hiring managers would want you and no one else. So and actually this is what is called competing in the blue ocean.
You have to be noticeable.
So you have to have that unique thing that that you do better than anyone else.
And I feel like it's an advantage to you having that variety of experiences, like having different different fields of expertise.
I feel it could be an advantage and a disadvantage.
You think so?
Some recruiters would say that it is a disadvantage because they think that it doesn't make me a specialist. But I don't think so, because it's not like I just brushed over those fields. Like I actually I have deep knowledge from all my diplomas. Like each of my diplomas gave me deep knowledge on each of these areas. And then my experience sort of fermented that. So I have something to back it up. It's not just a module that I took, a course that I took at university, but actually it's a deep knowledge that meets experience. And I got through that because through years. Like it didn't happen from in one night. Like I was able to build it. Because I was supported at the beginning of my career. Like I had a lot of support in Morocco. I had amazing mentors who helped me, who taught me how to how to improve my management skills and whatnot. Like I was very lucky to have mentors who helped me, especially in the beginning of my career.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And to someone moving to another country, like here, they usually say, go and volunteer. Find some volunteer opportunities. But I think even volunteering, it's a privilege.
Yeah, I haven't been able to find volunteering positions. I did apply to volunteering positions. I've been able to.
Yeah. And I think it varies with the career and field, right? And although it's the best way to get in contact with an employer and bosses, right?
Yeah. I'm actually very, I love volunteering work. It's just that I wasn't given the opportunity here. Unfortunately, like I love to, to give back to the community, to help, to help the ones that are struggling, to help them improve. But I just wasn't given this opportunity. To this day.
Well, on that note, I think I would actually say that's been a big reality for most people who came within the 2 years. Right? And they haven't had much exposure. They haven't had much Canadian experience. And these platforms like these now helps in building these relationships and programs which we are trying to run. As well in the community.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you need a digital presence. Right now, if you don't have a digital presence, you don't exist.
That's right.
Using posts on LinkedIn, that's also a very good way to brand yourself. Writing about what you're passionate about. I see this that's a very good way to showcase who you are. I think that's a good way, especially if you don't have many connections and you want to build them. That's a very good way to do that. It's to have posts and whatnot. Like that should
change.
Improve their chances.
And that's very, very right. That's very right. Like you need that online presence. Emmanuel, do you have an Indeed account?
Well, I do have an Indeed account, but
I forgot the password.
I don't remember the name of the account. I can't remember when that. But I had similar experiences too, because I had to find a job when I came and had to go through. I had to create an Indeed account, create a LinkedIn account. I got called for some jobs through this account. Like Indeed, they'll send me offers. But when you follow through with them, it never materializes.
No, it doesn't materialize.
It never materializes.
I had the same.
So and I can personally testify to that. I had really had to walk around my resume a lot.
Honestly, I've never gotten any position here with applying. It's networking.
Literally, me too.
Networking on LinkedIn.
It was networking and LinkedIn.
Like those two that got me to where I am today. If it wasn't for that, applying doesn't work. At least not for me.
I can testify to that too.
Any position that I see online. Only two thoughts come to my head. Either they're putting that position that to put we were hiring, or they have someone in mind and they're just putting online to prove we advertise. But they have someone in.
More often than not, it is the case. More often than not, it is the case.
It is.
But sometimes they do need someone. They do the person because they need someone. But either way, it wasn't working for me. Either way, whether it was an actual post just supposed to fill the blank. It didn't work.
And the best way, I do prefer, knowing as many people and everyone that I usually work with, especially youth, I usually tell them you need to know as many people as possible.
Yes, as many mentors as possible.
As many mentors,
you can't
people
have enough mentors. As many mentors as possible, because my mentors were crucial in opening doors. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's if your mentor, if your mentor forward you something like XABC companies hiring, I know someone there, or I've talked to someone there, you apply. That's pretty much an assurance. They're also working toward it.
Absolutely.
You do take it serious, and you have that reassurance that someone has gone ahead of you.
Oh yeah.
So you find some kind of, it builds your confidence too, knowing that you have people around them that will support you.
Absolutely. And I was lucky to find my mentors and who helped me really, in a great way. Even when doors were closed and they were like, one of my mentors, she was just there to listen to me, like, and that was very important.
Wow.
I studied with her at Ryerson, so she taught me, and even though she doesn't have a PhD, she has a PhD in life.
Wow.
She's Jean Cho, so she's amazing.
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing. And Jean Cho, wherever she is, she knows she's an amazing person, right?
I can't thank her enough for the role that she played in helping me getting through one of the darkest moments in my career here.
Yeah. Wow.
It is always the start is always the hardest. And that's something people don't know. And just getting the food in sometimes seems like it's going through hell and out.
And one thing for immigrants, either young people or all the seniors or all the adults, I usually believe immigrants have like a very hardworking, and they usually have a ton of experiences, and they just need that chance. They just need, even not hiring them, just call them for the interview. Do you feel the same thing?
Exactly. Like, all I'm asking is just give me an opportunity to talk. Like, that's all I'm asking. Like, I'm not asking to be hired. I'm just asking to be heard. And that was the biggest issue that I had.
Wow.
Despite being, referred to by my mentors and another mentor, Dr. Wael. He's also from Ryerson. He actually put my profile up on his page and recommended me, and but there wasn't much that came from there. Wasn't much that came from there. But I'm very grateful for
the support.
The support meant a lot to me.
What would you say to anyone who is going through such challenges and is trying to find a job? And maybe they're giving up and they're reconsidering going back, maybe because of these challenges. What can you tell them?
Don't give up.
Don't
give up, because it's just a phase. It's just an obstacle. It may feel like the whole world is against you, but it's not. Because you only reach 100 people and there's millions out there. So you can't take it personally. You can't.
And I usually feel sometimes it's not your turn yet.
Exactly.
Yeah, it may not be your time yet. And actually, if I hadn't gone through hell to get to where I am, I wouldn't have been here. I wouldn't have been where I am today. So I'm actually grateful for having gone through that, because I learned an invaluable lesson. I learned that things work. And that you will get rewarded for your trouble and for your effort. You just have to believe.
We put your story on our page online and say we'll be talking to Hala today, and someone said they read the article and they're like, I think education is losing value. Do you what's your reaction to that statement?
I don't know about whether education is losing value, but I feel like there's a disregard for anything that is not Canadian education. Like, I'm not saying that everyone feels that way, but there's definitely a bias about international education. In that, Canadian education is above all. When actually, like, Canadian system is just as good as any other system.
Absolutely.
And if anything, like, I know for a fact that the Moroccan system is the hardest education system you would go through. The success rate is like less than 25%. In Moroccan universities.
Wow.
That's the success rate.
So it's tough.
It is tough. It is tough to make it in Morocco. Like, it's not, and that's why there's so much unemployment in Morocco, because you have so many qualified people who don't make it, and they end up working in jobs that are below their credentials. So I don't believe that there is an education system better than any other, but there is a bias about that. There is a bias about thinking that Canadian credentials is actually better.
Yeah.
Although, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And and you touch a very good point there. And sometimes we feel like having international credentials pretty much limit the chances of getting a job in Canada.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it is the case. And I can only speak from my experience where, there was an offer of, like there was a position for, as a researcher.
Yeah.
And I was refused the position because of the international Ph.D. Because I was told that my PhD is international, and they don't trust that I would fit the position, although I am qualified for it.
Wow.
So that just tells me that there is a bias about international education, even though I have the equivalency for all my degrees by both the West World Education and Services and Professional Engineers of Ontario. So. Yeah, that just proves that there is a bias.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think we had that too. I had someone who commented on our post who, like for example, maybe studying air piloting, and you have to have a certain number of hours for you to even get your qualification.
Yeah.
And you have to fly a certain number of hours, and these hours require money, very expensive. And you see that there are certain barriers now that you coming in wouldn't be able to afford those flight hours, which nobody tells you. Going into that. So you end up finding yourself in certain barriers in what you're trying to achieve.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And before coming to Canada, did you maybe try to see, which province is best suited for example, engineering?
Yes.
Because I've seen online someone saying, was she aware unemployment or underemployment rate of engineering in Ontario is 33%? And I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, but I also looked for where my profile is needed.
Okay.
So I knew that there is a need for my specific profile in Toronto.
Yeah.
Okay.
So so I had to target that. I was aware that there is a huge demand.
Yeah.
That the demand is more than that the offer is more than the demand. So I was aware of that, but I do know my potential, and I do know that I have my unique, characteristic that I can offer to the table. So, I am able to, beat the competition.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Put me on the table with someone, and I can show you.
I personally think that it's due to job security for Canadians. That personally, I would say that drives that notion of maybe securing the jobs.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that's where connection comes in.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So if you're connected, then you have another foot.
Foot in the door.
Yeah. So the solution is networking. Yeah,
I would second that.
Yeah.
Networking.
Yeah.
Definitely. And the right networking, finding the community, the specialized community, because there are specialized communities, that can help you find, opportunities within that community through referral. So that's the right way to do it.
Oh wow! Well, I was reading the article with Toronto Star, and I read one of the comment on the article that it's either the system or Hala that has a problem here. And I was like, what?
I would love someone to tell me what I should have done. Please let me know. I am open to. I love constructive criticism. I love receiving feedback that can help me improve. Please tell me what should I have done. I'd be more than happy to oblige next time. Because I don't believe that I am an expert in everything. I am not. I have experience, I have some knowledge, but I'm not immune from errors.
Yeah.
I am still human,
Yeah.
and I know that I will be making errors in the future. I made errors in the past, and I will be making errors in the future. But,
Absolutely.
but it's all about improvement. It's all about doing better than before. It's all about investing in yourself.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. So if someone can tell me what I can do better, please. I'm open to suggestions.
And I think one of the mistake people are taking here, even those reading the articles online, I think the assumption is you went to school, high school, you finished, you went bachelor degree, then master's, then PhD, which is not the case.
Actually, so while I was doing my PhD, I was working working as a project manager and teaching. So I was doing the trade.
Yeah, you see, so it was not just school, because the assumption is maybe you went to school for a long time. Yeah. Then now it's
actually I was working at the same time as doing my PhD and teaching.
Oh wow! Wow! Yeah, you're living the Canadian life then. in Morocco.
In Morocco. Wow. That's actually very interesting. Yeah, that's some great insight to that. Yeah. Personally, I think I've learned a lot from your experience today, and it's very enlightening to see that there are people like yourself who share the same stories with everyone else out there, and with so many other immigrants who come and have difficulties finding a job, and maybe have to go through various means and navigate different ways just to try and find themselves in the system.
Yeah.
And I think that we could, as a community, we need platforms like this to discuss these issues and see how we can better help improve our community through sharing the ideas.
And
through this platform.
It is needed, because I see this every day. Like, I see my friends, I see people who contact me telling me about how hard it is for them, that they are struggling. Some of them are going back to their homes, because they couldn't make it, because they are offered jobs in their homes and not here.
Wow.
That's true. That's true. And sometimes even personnel from back home, like public personnel, would contact you through your social media and tell you, like, what are you doing there? Come back.
Your job is here.
Come back. I've had someone contacted me before and said that come back and try doing what you're doing there back home.
We have a friend who does music for a living, and he came to Ottawa, and after 2 years, he's like, this is totally wasting my time. It's better being an artist in Africa than being an artist here. That's how crazy this thing is.
That's a big part of it too. Because you see that the showbiz and the entertainment industry is not that developed. In so many ways, and people have to resort to maybe traveling out or going to the States just to pursue their
and that's another part of the issue. Like, I was lucky because my field is in demand. What about the fields that are not in demand?
Exactly. That's a big one.
That's a huge issue. Like, I have the support because my field is in need, and I knew that that there is a huge demand. But what about the ones that were hit because of COVID? Like aerospace, for instance, like that took a hit. That took a hit.
And even with the people hearing this story and even reading the article online, they will think if someone having a PhD in this field is facing all these struggles, only God knows with my high school diploma.
Actually, I think that someone less qualified wouldn't have it hard.
Wouldn't
have it hard to find a job.
Because there's a certain range which they want and which they require.
They wouldn't have it hard. I don't think they would have it hard. I think that it's the overqualified who that have it really difficult to make it, even for a survival job. To survive, just to pay the bills. They refuse because they are considered overqualified.
Yeah, so like the doors are more shut, like the lesser than even someone that with less education.
With less education, I think that they would because the moment I took the PhD, I was able to find a job like right away, like instantly. I got called right away, and the interview went very smoothly. Like it was.
And you actually said, "What took so long?"
When I was targeting survival jobs, I didn't have a problem. I didn't have a problem targeting survival jobs. That was the easiest thing to get.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, wow. Well, it has been amazing talking to you.
Likewise.
And like learning all these experiences and the advice to even myself. So thank you so much for accepting to talk to us. And maybe to finish up, what's your final message?
My final message is for immigrants: keep the fight. This is a reality that we have to fight. It may change in the future, but that doesn't mean that there's no solution. That doesn't mean that that there's no way. It may be difficult, and also the government needs to be taking action to bridge the gap between hiring managers and the immigrants. There should be a bridge that connects the two. So we shouldn't rely on just recruiters and chicken boxes. That's not how you that's not a fair system to immigrants.
And I'm even wondering if there's like a pool for immigrant workers.
Well, there is the job bank, but no hiring manager or recruiter go to the job bank to look for the resources. It's a bank of immigrants. It's a bank of immigrants, and
you just keep it, you save it.
Canada that does have that, but there's no enforcement between the government doesn't ask hiring managers to choose from it, to hire from it and whatnot. So I mean, I've been applying to jobs through the job bank. No answers.
No one looks at them.
No.
It's a bank. You use it for saving.
And the weird part that happens is that I get invitation to apply and no responses.
Oh wow.
That actually it's a bit more depressing.
I get all the time invitations to apply. And then I apply and no responses. No acknowledgement, no responses.
Wow. Yeah, and the message that I'm trying to learn from you, like every person have their own experiences.
Absolutely.
But if the same situation remain unchanged, then it's uncertain for the coming generations.
It is scary the way things are going. And more and more people are coming, and there needs to be a system that assigns the right immigrants to the right programs and the right profiles.
Wow.
Job posting, I mean.
So that's something I've taken from you today is the need for the government to create a medium where the bridge between immigrants who come in seeking employment and the employer. So it's a ready market. To tap from.
Exactly.
Well, I suspect that's how Job Bank was created. But does it get that much attention? Does someone follow up?
That's the issue. It's there, and I'm betting that hiring managers don't even know that it exists. Maybe. If they ever do, I don't know. But there needs to be, an awareness. I think the problem here is awareness. A lot of hiring managers are not aware of the issues that are happening to most immigrants.
Wow.
And,
okay. Thank you so much, Hala, for accepting to talk to us.
That's really amazing.
And we will definitely stay in touch. I know you're going to Toronto back tomorrow, but we definitely stay in touch. And we want to know how things will pick from here, and try to support as much as possible. And these additional connections you're creating, which is good. And thank you.
Thank you for having me, and I'm very happy to be able to be the voice of many immigrants, because I'm not just speaking for myself, because at least I made it. But I'm speaking for those who, unfortunately, they're still struggling. They're still fighting the fight. They're getting depressed, feeling bad about themselves, thinking that they are the problem when they're not.
Well, they're not. That's very right. And very many, there are many immigrant individuals in this country, but almost all of them, no one is talking about these things. And the fact that you are courage enough to come forward and talk about these things, that makes you an advocate.
That's what I hope to be. That's what I hope to be, is to represent them, because at least my voice is heard now, but their voice is not. There needs to be something. Something has to change. There needs to be an action to be taken, because it shouldn't stay this way.
Your story inspires so many, and it's an honor having you here, and I really want to say thank you for coming and being so open to share these experiences with the rest of the world to understand what's happening out there.
Thank you. And I feel it is my duty. It is my duty to represent them, because again, I was lucky because my field was good. It's in high demand. But I do feel like that it is unfair that just because their field is not in high demand, that they have to struggle, that they have to suffer through doors shut to their faces and whatnot. They don't deserve that, and something needs to change.
And you're right. But the jobs that are not in high demand, I know some people that have forgotten the fields. Just switch something else that don't relate to whatever they went to school for. All in all, because there's no demand.
Exactly.
That's great.
Okay.
I really hope that the message reached today. So thank you
absolutely.
for allowing me to do that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And for those listening on Spotify, thank you so much. And you can download and, of course, save our page. And for those listening on Amazon Music, those listening on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcast, thank you. And of course, for those of you watching on YouTube, the Active Newcomer Youth Ottawa on YouTube, thank you so much. And see you next week. Thank you.
You've been listening to the Immigrant Experience, a program we hope will have an impact on the future of newcomer immigrants and Canada at large. We hope you enjoyed the show, and if you did, make sure to subscribe, like, and share. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, hook up with us on Instagram at @Anyo_2021. #The Immigrant Experience. See you guys next time.